Alright, hello everyone. Today we're going to be going over stretches in this portion. I'm going to show you my routine, and this is what I've worked into my regimen for the last 3 years now, and it's kept me agile and loose, and as well as good flexibility and good range of motion. So first of all, I've always been pretty athletic. I've never had any major injuries, luckily. I've been stretching, obviously, before shuffling, obviously. I did a lot of P90X, a lot of like home workout stuff. So I knew like stretching was very beneficial for me. Great benefits, of course, as I mentioned earlier. I'll show you what I do, and then you guys can add them to your own regimen if you want. I recommend, if you don't have a stretching routine or regimen, I recommend you think about starting one, because as you get older, like it's insurance for your body. So don't neglect it. Like, if you know you're gonna go out and stretch, or if you know you're gonna go out and shuffle, like a big event, I would definitely stretch like that same day. Like, this is a very like high impact dance. Okay, so you need to take care of your body. So moving on. Let's see here. You know, another thing to add, before you do really any movement or any kind of activity, you should always stretch. So it'll take you a long way. If you don't have a regimen of stretches yet, you know, you can simply make them up, and of course take what I am doing today and add it to your own. As I said earlier, it's insurance for the body. That is how I like to think about it. I've been consistently stretching again since the beginning of my shuffle journey, and even before that. I can definitely say, if I don't stretch for a week, like, I'll definitely feel it. You know, so just, you guys, do yourselves a favor, get into it. Not everyone is the biggest fan of it, again, but you know, stretching along with like yoga, even breath work. I actually did breath work recently. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's very like therapeutic, very like grounding. It's kind of spiritual, or it can be for some people, but definitely opened up a lot more like possibilities and gave me a whole different like perspective on life. It's just really like, breath work is really it just opened me up so much more. So if you don't know what breath work is, Google it, and I'm sure you could probably find someone in your local like community who does it. But yeah, you know, the whole point of having a stretch routine is so you don't have to guess every time, you know. And I'm gonna get into it a little more about like obviously which stretches, and dynamic stretches, or like static stretching, or like ballistic stretching. There's like 4 or 5 different types, and which one is the best. Every now and then I will add more stretches to my routine, and I might ditch old stretches for new ones that just aren't really doing it for me anymore. You know, I can say I've never had a serious injury before. I think I mentioned that earlier. You know, Melbourne shuffling is great because it's really, this dance really is injury-free, or an injury-free dance. You know, you come down and you land flat on the foot. Other styles of shuffle, such as like cutting shapes, can be prone to ankle and foot injuries because they are more hoppy and up on their toes. And I've witnessed many of my friends and people in the community injure themselves, unfortunately, with this style. So if you are ever doing cutting shapes, or you're thinking about getting into it, just be aware that, it's very injury prone when you're up on the toes a lot like that. Also, I don't drink or smoke cigarettes or eat unhealthy processed foods, so that'll take you a long way also in your shuffle dance career or journey. I like living a good healthy lifestyle. I drink lots of water. I am a camel. I drink so much water. I love green tea, decaf. I'm not a big caffeine guy. My heart doesn't like a lot of caffeine. But yeah, I just try to do the best I can with like eating healthy, no processed foods. Vegetarian. I tried vegan for a while. I'm mostly like vegan vegetarian. But the better you take care of your body, the longer you can shuffle for. So, what you put in is what you get back, obviously. So, obviously, again, always drink plenty of water and just do good things for your body. Love your body. It literally spends every waking second working hard to keep you alive. So, when you think of it like that, it kind of makes you appreciate your body that much more. And, this is why we are so amazing, like being humans. So now I'm going to demo my stretch routine. So if I'm going to the park, and sometimes I'll stretch, before I shuffle, like at the park. I'll stretch for like 10 minutes max with dynamic stretches. And then usually when I'm at home, which I'll show you also, that'll be like static stretching. First, and then I just want to kind of like issue a little disclaimer here. Be careful, like don't overstretch. If it's too tight, and like don't push it. Like just because you can't maybe touch your toes, like maybe I can, or go all the way down, or whatever the move is, doesn't mean you need to. Like I've been stretching for a very long time, and doing these types of movements. So like, yeah, I might have a little bit more flexibility right now than some people that are just getting into this. So don't feel discouraged. Okay, so we're gonna get into it now. So dynamic stretches are dynamic. It's where like static is flatline. Think of static like a heart monitor, or it's like static where it's just like flatline where nothing's happening. Static is where you're holding a stretch like this. Dynamic is when you're doing stuff like this. It's dynamic in range, in motion, like this. Okay, so just to kind of break the two up, there's also another one called ballistic, which is stuff like this, where you're going like that, like where you're like, it's that ballistic, you're bending down and you get that stretch, or that slingshot on the muscle, and it bounces you back. That, we're not going to be doing that one. Dynamic is what you want to focus on most for any kind of like movement, or any kind of like dancing or like running, I would say. You can look ballistic stretching up and see if it might be for you, but from what I've learned and what I've been training and working out since I was younger, dynamic and static are the two that I've stuck with the most. There's also another type of stretching that literally uses a partner. I forgot the name of it. It's like a technical name, but you can also look up that too. But obviously, if you're not doing, if you're doing like serious sports and stuff like that, and serious anything with like a lot of different like movement and stuff that is going to require a personal trainer or a personal therapist, I should say, like, then that would be that type of stretch. So, and if you haven't already, I've been thinking about getting one of those Theraguns. It's like the massage gun, basically, the electronic ones, because I don't have really the time or money to go to like a massage therapist, and my body feels, I don't have to do that. I take very good care of my body, so I don't ever have like really bad knots. But those Theraguns, the automatic like massage guns that you can like, just go like up and down like that, like I'm definitely looking into getting one of those, and they're only like 50 to like, they're like under $100. So maybe look into one of those. They just help speed the recovery process up so much. So if you haven't looked into getting a massage gun, hop on Amazon or maybe like a local store wherever you live and think about getting one of those. But okay, so without further ado, we'll start. This is how I usually start my stretches. I just start with taking like 5 to 10 deep breaths. You can have your hands in like a prayer pose or not. You can have them hanging. You just want to take some deep breaths and get the body kind of just opened up, kind of getting loose, because this is also like meditation, and I don't do any other meditation besides this. So this is my me time, my chill time, if you will. Nice, slow, controlled breaths. It kind of like just relaxes you. Next, I'll do my neck. Kind of work from the head down, right? And this is pretty traditional. Like if you ever go take a class from anybody, it'll kind of all be the same. They'll usually work you up from like the head, shoulders, down until you're on the mat. So next we'll do our neck. We'll roll our neck out. I usually let it hang for like 5 seconds. And then let it hang to the back for about 5 seconds as well. Hang to the left. Careful on your neck right here, like with everything you do, just be careful. You don't ever want to feel it stretching too much. Switch to the right. You don't ever want to, if it's really tight and it's really pulling on you, then don't force it, Here we go. And then after that, I'll just roll it around a few times. And then you can kind of like, sometimes I scrunch up just to kind of get some of the cracks or the cartilage. And I try to get like a pop or a crack. You don't have to do this, that's just what I do. Or you can just let your shoulders hang and just gently roll your neck. Make sure you like roll all the way into each position. Like left fully, right fully, forward position. There you go. And then you can switch, go back the other way a few times. By the time you're done with this, you will feel like, you'll feel really good, I promise. I do this, if not every morning, every couple of days or so. And when I really need it, I'll do it every day, because that means, my body's like, it needs it, So after I do that, roll the neck out. I'll usually do like a few arm circles. It's kind of like, I'll do like 3 forward, 1, 2, 3, and I'll do a few back, 1, 2, 3, just kind of open up my chest a little bit, and like the pecs, and your shoulders as well. I will also do, and before I go any further, this right here is going to be a combination of dynamic and some static stretching. So remember, anything that I'm holding, if I'm holding a stretch like this, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that is static. And anything like moving like this, or like this next stretch we're going to do, this is going to be dynamic. So you're doing like a leg kick or a leg raise. Try and touch it with opposite arm or same side if you choose. I'll usually do like 10 of these. 4, 5. Your balance will build up over time. You can just come back and you can just tap the toe. Like that. 9. 10. Switch sides. Prep yourself. Try and keep your back straight. I don't always keep my legs straight when I go up, but if you can touch your toe, great. If not, don't worry about it. You will build up to it over time, or just get your leg as high as you can. As long as you feel that stretch in your hamstrings, which is your hamstrings are in the back of your leg. And you can use the momentum to kind of, that way you don't always have to tap your foot. You just come back like that. Also, be careful, don't go too high. You don't want to like overstretch it, okay? Next, I kind of do, I'll go up on my calves, go up on your toes if you can, the balls of your feet. I'll do like, see if you can hold it for like 5 seconds and like flex your calves a little bit, just for like 3 to 5 seconds. And then see if you can go on your heels and sort of flex your feet upwards so you feel that backwards in the back of the calves. Like that, and you can bend forward a little bit. See if you can hold it and drive your weight forward like that. So you're bouncing on your heels, but you're pointing your toes up and you're bending over slightly just to get that good stretch. It should just be quick. Feel it go up the back of your leg. Next, do a static stretch. Hold the leg in the back. So I always see people do this wrong. When you do this stretch, you want to have your knee pointing down. Not like this. This is incorrect. You're not stretching anything by doing that. You need to have your leg, your knee, all the way down so it's in line with the other leg. Okay? And then just hold it for 10 seconds. I've already done more than 10. Switch sides. Again, grab this leg and pull it down. Of course, if it hurts too much, don't do it. Don't force anything. But, work on getting your quad. The quad is the front part of your leg up here, up on the top, okay? Work on getting the quad flexed and pointing your knee down like that. Pull up on the foot. You can hold two hands if you want. Okay. There's 10. Let it go gently. And I said it earlier, but the reason why I'm adding stretching in here is because it's so important. Like this is a really like high impact dance. Like I'm 30 now, and I want to keep on doing this and sharing this. So it's very important to me that I take care of my body, and that's why I'm letting you guys know, like, you need to be doing the same. So one of the last stretches I do before I get down on the mat, this will be another little bit of static, a little bit of dynamic. Just reach down slowly, slowly, slowly. You don't have to touch your feet. I'm slipping, I'm gonna scoot back. Widen your stance until you can like touch the ground. Just sit there for a minute and let your back like feel the stretch. Okay? Lock your legs when you do that. Keep your hands on the ground. Then you can unlock your legs so you can have a little bit of a bend. Just take your hands off the mat a little bit or off the floor and just start rocking back and forth slowly like this. Let your arms sway. Keep your head down. And just feel the left and right side of your back and your lats. Your lats go alongside of your back right here, or alongside of your rib cage. Just feel that stretch. And just kind of rock yourself up slowly. I got this one from P90X and it's amazing. So just kind of like you're swinging your arms like an elephant trunk. And just rock yourself up slowly until you're back into your neutral or your normal position. Just kind of like release your breath, breathe in a couple times. And that's about it for for standing up. Now we're going to drop down on the mat. And this is where it gets fun. So I always start out just kind of like appreciating the yoga session. I have socks on, so it's actually kind of difficult. I'm gonna take my socks off. So we're gonna flex our toes. This is like, if you treat this as serious as I do, you'll understand why, or maybe you already do. But dancers can always like point their feet. That's really important to be able to point your feet and just have that good flexation in your foot. So first of all, before we even point our feet, flex your big toe. So you're like, it's like you're giving a thumbs up, but like with your big toe. Flex that for like 10 seconds, and so you're pushing your other feet forward and your big toe back. Okay, and let go. Now that kind of loosens up your feet a little bit. Now point your feet forward. If you have to, like, you can kind of pick your foot up, land it on the heel, and point your feet forward, and hold that for like 10 seconds. Flex it, flex them. If you feel your feet start to cramp up, let go. And then you'll bring your foot back up, but go back down and try and get to 10. Okay. Over time, your feet you'll be able to like have a really good point, and you'll be able to they'll be almost like completely flat. So after that, try pointing your toes towards you. So literally try and curl your feet or your toes towards you now. 10 seconds. So you're gonna feel it in your calves, and doing this will really stretch your calves in the back, and just you'll be much more flexible. So like for this, like I flex so hard that like my heels actually come off the ground, as you can see. Okay. So now we have like the feet pretty much taken care of. And there's plenty of other things you can do out there, but this is what I do. Next we're going to get on our back. And there's not really any specific order. I know I said earlier like work from head down, but this is what I've done, and I find it to work pretty okay. So next we're going to lay on our back, then we're going to take care of a little bit of our legs again. We'll start with the left side. So first, I just want you to like put your leg up and just lay it down as flat as you can for about 10 to 15 seconds. And this is going to help open up your like your hip flexors and your thighs. So after you do that, this will this also, like, opening up your hips in general is like, once you are done doing this stretch, you will feel amazing, I promise. Like, it will definitely help you open up more with your shuffling and dance and any other kind of like movement. You'll feel a relief if you don't feel it on the spot already. Next, we're going to take the leg, and this is also a good tip how to get a higher running man. So what you want to do is just grab your both hands either behind the leg, or you can grab it on top. I'm going to grab it behind and just pull it close so that your quad is touching your chest or your stomach. And now, as you can see, this helps getting a higher running man because you're stretching this muscle right here, and which allows you to it remembers how high or how far you stretched it upwards, so that way when you go to do your running man, you're not getting that resistance as much because your leg is used to stretching like this. So I usually do about 10 15 seconds of this, and then you can even grab your foot like that and you can kind of pull it down as well. Just be gentle, and you might feel a little bit of discomfort with this one, but sometimes a little bit of pain or discomfort when stretching is good. You just gotta have to work through it, okay? Because when you don't exercise a lot or you don't stretch a lot, you're just getting into yoga or stretching, you're going to feel some of that discomfort. But like I said, like, to get more flexible and just get more like loosen up, you're gonna feel a little bit of discomfort in the beginning, but over time you will grease the wheels more and more, okay? So this next stretch, we're gonna, same leg, we're on the left side, and you're gonna put the other leg up, and you're gonna put this leg on the knee, and you're gonna put your hand here on this other knee on the left side, and you're just gonna push forward, just like this. So you're gonna push like that, and you should feel it down in your hips, or your left hip, and the more force or more pressure, you're gonna feel it a little more. But this is all about like loosening up the hips and kind of greasing the joints, if you will. So I do about 10 seconds there, and then sometimes you might feel a pop in your knee because it is kind of an awkward position, especially for me. Like, my legs are always kind of tight, so I always have to stretch them. But then you can keep in the same position. You can grab on the other leg that is up. You can grab behind this leg and pull back even more, and you'll feel it in that. You'll feel it like in your butt, like in your glutes, and again in your hip. So about 10 seconds there. Let go slowly. Okay, now switch sides. We're going to do the other side, okay? You can let that leg drop, and again we're going to lay this leg down on the ground. It feels so good sometimes I'll let it for like, even a minute. I'll just let my leg kind of lay flat. So just kind of sit there or lay there and just breathe while you kind of count down. Alright, bring the leg back up, and you can even do this too. You can even bring it across the body, and you can let it sit there for 10 to 15 counts, and just really you'll feel this one in your back too, and like your lumbar, which is like your lower spine, lower part of the back. Alright, let go slowly, release. Now we're gonna bring this leg to the chest again. I'm gonna go under, and I'm gonna count to 10 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm gonna grab the foot and do a couple extra here. Pull down a little bit more. Alright. And you'll really feel sore I mean, if you did legs, you'll really feel sore. Like if you worked your legs out at the gym. So now that one's done. Bring the other leg up. Cross this one over, you know, just like you're on a chair. You're sitting on a chair and you cross your leg, or you put your leg up. Put your hand on this knee and push forward a little bit until you feel that tightness in the hips. Okay, this is really going to loosen you up over time. You'll get to a point where you'll push so far and you don't even feel anymore. So once you reach that point, that's good. You know, that means you're very like you're very like flexible in that area, and you're very like loose. So you want to maintain that, you know. So you always want to. The stretch is really important. So that's about 10 seconds. Now I'm going to grab onto the other leg. I'm going to pull for another 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to let go. Alright. So that's both sides. I'm going to lay both my legs down and just kind of stretch out. And usually after this, I'll grab both hands, and sometimes I do this when I'm standing too, but I didn't this time, but I'll do it on the floor too. Just take your hands and reach above your head. Take a deep breath and just stretch, and point your toes too, or you can keep them flat. And just try and, you know, squeeze your arms together and reach up as high as you can. And sometimes, you know, you can kind of like, you can pick your butt up a little bit if you need to like get that arch in your back. You can just stretch. Okay, good. So that's about, you know, 10 seconds or so. And then you can come up, and there's many more stretches you could do. You could do like a pretzel where you put this leg over this knee right here, take a deep breath and turn. About 5 to 10 seconds, and you can let the breath out like that. We'll do the other side quick. Okay. Next, I usually kind of end with like I'll kind of cross the legs like this. You can put your feet together, or you can like cross them. But I'll do this, and I'll just sit here for a good, you know, 10, like 20, you know, maybe a minute, and just kind of just sit here in my own like silence and just, you know, appreciate this moment. And I'll kind of like, I'll like rock forward sometimes like this, and just, you know, maybe you want to rock back and forth, whatever. But after that, that is about it. And then a little bonus for you guys. We'll get into just 2 more poses and we'll be done. Go up on your balls of your feet. So this is called downward dog because you're facing down. And stretch each side of the foot like this. And so make sure your leg is straight, and then you're feeling it in your calf. And then you can even bend your knee like this. Well, let me do this side for you so you can see. So you can have your leg straight, and then you can bend the knee, and then you'll get even more of a stretch in like the Achilles. And you can kind of point it downwards, so you'll get even more of a stretch like that. But, you know, just be careful. Do everything, you know, with caution, and be gentle on your body. Next, so you can switch both of those. If you are advanced, you can try and go flat, or if you want to raise your butt up even more to have flat feet like that. Otherwise, come down. Okay. Next, we're going to go and do upward dog. So you're just going to come down, and you're going to lay, I believe it's actually, you're up on your, or yeah, you're just laying down like this. There's another one called Cobra, where I think you're like this. But sometimes I get the two mixed up. But I'm pretty sure. Upward dog is you just reverse or opposite of downward dog. So you come up to this position and have nice straight arms, and you can like look forward or you can like look up. And you can repeat these, and this actually builds a lot of strength in your body just by doing this. And, you know, take a breath and, you know, let it out every time you go up and down. Like that. Okay. So I'll usually end with these. I'll just do a couple. I don't do anything too crazy, but so that is it for the stretching part. If you don't feel just amazing right now, then well, you will. It takes a little bit of practice and consistency to, you know, be able to get into the positions like, you know, like 100% and actually like feel that stretch. And, you know, like earlier, not everyone can take their leg and like pull it all the way down straight, you know, when I was doing that static stretch. And that's okay. You'll work up to the form, the good form over time. But yeah. So thank you for joining, and yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Okay. So I also wanted to mention to you guys that just remember that there's dynamic and static stretching. Okay. Static stretching again is when you're static, you're not moving, you're just stretching an arm or a limb, you know, like this. Or dynamic is going to be more stuff like with movement, like stuff like this. Okay. And this is actually the very last thing I do. If you don't have a foam wheel or a roller wheel yet, I definitely recommend the Chirp brand, the CHIRP. I do have a link in my bio where you can save like $5 or $10, but it looks like this. And as you can see, it has this cutout for your spine. So when you're rolling, it's actually a lot easier on your back and your spine. And I'll give you guys a quick demonstration, but basically you just go like this, you fit your spine into it in the middle, and you put your hands on the floor like this. Take a deep breath, and you'll feel your back like pop. Like I just felt like 5 or 10 pops. And you can just walk with it a little bit because you're gonna move. Like that. And really once after that, once I get up, that completes my stretching. Like, not only are my hips and like all my lower half is really loose, but my back, once you pop those like vertebrae, you feel like so much stress just relieved. So, and like that's what makes me super like agile and quick when I shuffle. So definitely recommend this Chirp wheel here. You guys will have to check it out. So, but yeah, that's it for now. I hope you enjoy the stretch, and yeah, I'll see you soon.